Real Estate Talk on Smart Talk 1580.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. This is 1580 KGAL, and we are live this Saturday morning broadcasting from the parade route for the Veterans Day Parade here in Albany, downtown. It is 10 November. Tomorrow is actually Veterans Day, and while usually the Albany Veterans Day Parade is held on Veterans Day, on those rare years where Veterans Day falls on a Sunday, the parade's held on the previous Saturday. And today is Saturday. We're getting ready for the parade. It starts at 11 o'clock just as we get off the air. And I want to mention some of the Veterans Day Parade sponsors before we get into the show. Willamette Community Bank, service like no other. With branches right here in downtown Albany. If you look to the right from where we're sitting, you'll see that clock, you'll see it with a clock on top. Also in Lebanon, thanks to President and CEO Dave Wood and his great staff. Also, Barrett Business Services Incorporated, Human Resource Management, a proud sponsor of A Salute to a Veteran, a tribute to the men and women who have served and continue to serve in protecting our freedoms. Our country believes in liberty and justice for all, to make a stand for righteousness, freedom, and the defense of innocent people. BBSI, that's Barrett Business Services Incorporated, Human Resource Management, says, thank you to the veterans who have given their lives and for those who continue to sacrifice to preserve our freedom and the American way. That's BBSI, Barrett Business Services. Just some of the sponsors of the Veterans Day Parade today. Patty Louisiana, who runs the Veterans organization here, says she was at our Rotary meeting this week. She promised it was going to start right on time at 11 o'clock. But as you get ready for the parade, we will be broadcasting coverage of the parade. You have to shift over to 9:20 a.m. KSHO at 11. But we're going to lead you right into that with Real Estate Talk today. And I say we because I have Joshua Kittle. Joshua is our Real Estate Talk mortgage guy from Opus Advisors. He's a regular guest on Real Estate Talk, and we'll be talking about veterans loans, and maybe we'll get some listener questions if we get some people to walk by. Joshua has very graciously given up his Saturday to come in and spend the morning with you and I. And again, our topic is going to be veterans loans programs. Before we get into that, of course, it's time for the Real Estate Showcase. And by the way, I want to just tell you that 2 of the 3 homes that we highlighted last week in the showcase are now under contract. We got accepted offers on both of them last week. So to my faithful listeners, thank you for your support. So we'll see if we can do that again this week, shall we? 3 homes in the showcase today. The first home is located in Spring Meadow at 5203 Mallard Circle Southwest. About 2,500 square feet with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. This is a solidly built Sandstrom home in the first edition of Spring Meadow. It's located on a circle, not a cul-de-sac, but it's still a very low traffic and very quiet area. It's 2 stories. The first floor of the home features a grand entryway, a formal living room and dining room, an open kitchen with an island, and a built-in gas stovetop. The cabinetry in the kitchen was upgraded to solid oak, and it's in very, very nice condition. Open to the kitchen is a comfortable family room and a dining nook. You head out from there through a door to a Trex deck and a large backyard featuring raised beds and a retractable awning over that deck. Upstairs, all 4 bedrooms, including a very large master. This home actually has what's called a bayfront elevation, which gives you some additional square footage in both the formal living room and in that master bedroom upstairs. It's a perfect little nook for a reading area or something like that. The master bath has dual sinks, a jetted tub, and a shower. It's a wonderful Spring Meadow home, 5203 Mallard Circle Southwest. Ooh, we got road traffic going by. Price to sell at $242,000. My second showcase home is located at 1239 Elm Street Southwest in Albany. This is a perfect starter home. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, just under 1,000 square feet. It's got a newer roof, updated vinyl windows, vinyl siding, alley access with a carport. It's a very comfortable place for you to take your first step on the property ladder. It's located in a neighborhood near to what I think are some of the best schools in Albany. Easy access to downtown and priced at $99,900. It's a steal. Most of the homes in this particular price range are foreclosures or short sales, and this home is neither. You can buy this home cheaper than you can rent it. That's 1239 Elm Street Southwest in Albany. My final showcase listing today It has the ultimate man cave. It is probably the single coolest shop that you have ever seen. And what do most of us want to shop for? Woodworking, working on cars, parking our various big toys. Well, you can do it all here. It has 16-foot doors. It's fitted with 110 and 220 electrical service. It is piped with an air compressor, and it can hold a semi-truck cab. Off the back of the shop, a full bath, and an additional storage building behind that. If you want to start a car repair business, if you want to start an auto body shop, if you want any kind of a home business where you need tons of storage, this is the first place you should look. The house, I almost forgot to tell you about the house. The house is about 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, beautiful hardwood floors, updated appliances, and an attached 1-car garage. All of this on a .62 acre lot, very private and secluded. There's also a small building, maybe a kid's playroom or an art studio in the backyard. This place has it all, and the price tag, $284,900. If you want more information on this particular home, email me at realestatetalk@kgal.com. And that's the Real Estate Showcase for this 10th day of November 2012. We are right downtown. We're on Lyons Avenue, right in front of Richard's Cleaners, right next to the Hasty Freeze and across from the Democrat Herald. We're broadcasting live. If you've got a question, you want to get on the air, and you're in the area, stop by. We'd love to visit with you. Also want to thank a few more of our sponsors, Pro Auto and County Towing in Lebanon, Mega Foods, Mark Thomas Motors, Albany Burgerville, and a few more that we'll mention later. Now, if you want any information on our showcase homes, send an email to realestatetalk@kgal.com. If you have a question, today you can just stop on down right here. We're broadcasting live. I'm waving at people across the street, waving at cars as they drive by. But we can get your question on the air. Other days, send it into Facebook. That's just go to facebook.com/Real Estate Talk on KGAL. Or you can go to www.kgal.com and click on the link for Real Estate Talk. There are links to archives with lots of statistics, some MP3 files from past shows. If you're not currently working with a real estate professional and you'd like a market analysis on any property, whether you're looking to buy that property or sell, send me an email. Again, that address is realestatetalk@kgal.com, and I'll provide you with that market analysis at absolutely no obligation. Ultimately, though, my friends, I would like to be on your team, and I'm an agent. If you want an agent that's 100% on your side, I'm committed to working with only one client in any real estate transaction. So give me a call or send me an email today. Finally, if you're starting the home buying process, contact Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services, www.w-nhs.org. Take their homebuyer ed class. It's absolutely worth it. And for you, my faithful radio listeners, if you're not currently working with another real estate professional and you want to take that class, email me here. Let me know the dates you've signed up for, and I'll pick up the course fee for you. I want to address a couple of more sponsors. Again, we are downtown Albany on Lyons, right in front of Richard's Cleaners, broadcasting live. Parade coverage will start at 11 on KSHO 920 AM with Brian Holman and Ryan the Lion Murphy. So after we're done here on Real Estate Talk, I want you to shift your radios over to 920. Also, a few more of our sponsors: Lassen RV, Willamette Manor Assisted Living and In-Home Care, Lynn Lanes, Albany Antique Mall, the Albany Downtown Association, the Albany Regional Museum, All for Fish, and, of course, Richard's Cleaners. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Joshua Kittle from Opus Advisors. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
Have you given up trying to lose weight? If it seems like nothing delivers on its promises or works for the long term, look to Family Chiropractic Wellness Center. Family Chiropractic Wellness Center at 541 Park Street in Lebanon can change your mind and change your life. Attend a free workshop and learn about a comprehensive weight management program that has been recommended by over 20,000 doctors since 1980. The program includes the free guidance of a caring health coach, online support, and a network of like-minded individuals. You'll soon be on your way to reaching your goal weight and learning how to maintain it. Call Dr. Ron Clifton's office right now at 541-451-1290 to get started. Reserve your free admission to one of the workshops by visiting Family Chiropractic Wellness Center at 541 Park Street. Just look for the time and temperature sign or call 451-1290. Call now, 451-1290. The Family Chiropractic Wellness Center. Chiropractic, a natural way to grow. Call 541-451-1290.
Barrett Business Services Human Resource Management is a proud sponsor of A Salute to a Veteran, showing our troops we care and paying tribute to the men and women for their triumphs and sacrifices protecting our freedoms. Our country believes in liberty and justice for all, to make a stand for righteousness, freedom, and the defense of innocent people. Barrett Business Services wishes Godspeed to our fighting men and women in harm's way and says thank you for preserving our freedoms and the American way of life. Barrett Business Services is a proud sponsor of A Salute to a Veteran.
Creating a 211 resource phone line for families to get the help they need. Giving scholarships to children with special needs at Mighty Oaks Children's Therapy Center. Providing dental to low-income children throughout Lynn County. My name is Jim Merriman, and I'm president of Oregon Freeze Dry. We support the United Way because they are making a difference right here in the community where we live and work. Please join me in supporting the United Way of Lynn County. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united.
Celebrate veterans with the Willamette Master Chorus, the Mid-Valley's premier choral ensemble. You have two opportunities to attend the concert, today at 7 p.m. and tomorrow, Veterans Day, at 3 p.m. To recognize those who have served and are serving and remember those who have paid the ultimate price to defend and preserve our country's freedom, the Master Chorus will present Requiem by French composer Maurice Duruflé, with additional music celebrating and honoring veterans and their families. Special emphasis on D-Day veterans and music from the French provinces of Normandy and Brittany in celebration of the chorus's tour to France in 2013. For information or to purchase tickets, link to the Willamette Master Chorus from KGAL.com or KShow.net. The Veterans Concerts by the Willamette Master Chorus, today at 7 p.m. and tomorrow, Veterans Day, at 3 p.m. Hudson Hall, Willamette University in Salem.
Get tomorrow's news tonight. John Batchelor, Sunday through Friday nights on Smart Talk 1580.
Ever wish you could be a contestant on a game show and win real prizes? Here's your chance. The Play Game Show places the theater audience in the role of the TV studio audience. Audience members are picked as contestants and win actual prizes. The audience also witnesses all the backstage backstabbing antics that go on during the commercial breaks of Game Show. Albany Civic Theater presents Game Show, playing through November 17th. Get your tickets at Sid Stevens Jewelers in Albany or Wine Styles in Corvallis. Game Show playing through November 17th at the Albany Civic Theater.
And welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. Real Estate Talk is your only resource on local radio for real estate information right here in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. It is Saturday. We are at the Veterans Day Parade. The parade starts at 11. We are broadcasting live right in front of Richard's Cleaners. If you can hear the traffic noise in the background, I apologize. If you can't hear it, I can, and it's frankly a little distracting this morning. But happy Veterans Day to everybody. Tomorrow, actually, Veterans Day. The parade is today. Thanks to our sponsors here of the Veterans Day Parade, Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, with branches right here in downtown Albany. Thanks to President and CEO Dave Wood and his staff. Also, Barrett Business Services, Incorporated Human Resource Management, another big sponsor of today's parade. The parade actually starts at 11. We're going to be broadcasting here until 11, and then coverage of the parade itself is going to shift over to 9:20 K-Show. But until then, we're going to talk about some real estate stuff, and we're going to try and focus on veterans. And I've got a very good friend, and if you listen to Real Estate Talk, you know him. Joshua Kittle from Opus Advisors is with us. Josh, thanks for taking your Saturday to come on up and visit with us today.
No, Dave, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure.
So, obviously, we're talking about veterans issues, which opens up a conversation about VA loans. And as we were talking this morning, walking over here, I actually learned something new. I have always been under the impression that for a veteran, the whole goal of VA loans, the biggest benefit was that it's zero money down, 100% financing to be able to get in. And I used a VA loan, the very first house I purchased, but I've never used one since. And that's because I hadn't needed to, because I had money for down payment from having moved up the property ladder. But you're saying it may actually be to my advantage to refinance into a VA loan now.
Absolutely. Actually, VA loans, one of my favorite loans. For most people, obviously, it's not an option. You have to have served in the military. But, and you're right, the VA is kind of set it up to where they don't have mortgage insurance, which is one reason why this is one of my favorite loans. 0% down, so it's easy to get into a home even without a lot of cash reserves. They're a little more relaxed with credit scores than what conforming would be. But the one thing they have is they have what's called an upfront funding fee, and this is how the VA basically makes the money to cover losses and stuff, and they'll charge a fee. Now, if you are a disabled vet and your disability is 10% or greater, the VA waives that fee. So in addition to get all those other great benefits, you no longer have that cost.
And that cost is what, in the thousands of dollars?
Well, it's based on your loan amount. The first time use of a VA loan it's 2.15% of the loan amount. So if you're doing 100% financing, that'd be the purchase price. And then it goes up from there. And there's some different, what that rate is depends on some different things as well as what that new fee would be, how much of a down payment and stuff. But I say, as a veteran who's disabled, that goes away. So when you go to reuse it in the future, instead of paying that fee again or the higher fee, it's waived and it becomes a great a lower cost loan. In addition to that, government loans like FHA, VA, and USDA are typically always lower than a conforming loan. So you're going to get a lower rate than a conforming rate, less down payment, no mortgage insurance if you put less than 20% down, and no cost. So phenomenal program.
Absolutely. Now, are there limitations in terms of VA loans, in terms of loan amounts, purchase prices, things like that?
Yes, VA does have some limitations on the loan amount. It's going to vary from and you can go above that loan amount, but what happens is once you get above that amount for your area, then you're going to have to kick in a portion of what's going over. So I think for most people, I think VA's right around, don't quote me on this one, I think it's like around 317.
So it's a fairly hefty home purchase.
Yeah, I mean, for most first-time home buyers, for most people, it's going to be just fine. So again, if you look at the higher-end, real high-end homes, then you start to run into where you will have to come in with some money because the VA only guarantees up to a certain amount.
And again, I think the big misconception here is that VA loan, because it's 100% financing, is a great tool for first-time buyers, but in many cases, it's a good tool for subsequent buyers. You just have to get your VA eligibility back out of your first loan, right?
Absolutely. You have to get it back from your first loan so you can use it over and over. You can technically have two loans at the same time. It's based on how much of the principal balance you've paid down on the first VA loan, and then that basically frees up a portion of what they're guaranteeing. And so when you go to purchase your next home, you'd have to come in with the difference. So it doesn't become a zero-down program, but you can purchase another home while still having a VA home loan if you've reduced the principal balance enough.
Now, if you're a veteran, are you automatically eligible for VA loans, or are there any other eligibility requirements that are overlaid?
No, if you've served in the military, and we verify that with your DD-214, then we send some documentation to the military and they come back. But no, if you've served in the military, you qualify for the VA.
So we actually have a special guest with us today too, and I don't know, folks. Brian Holman, who works here at KGAL K-Show Radio, actually just purchased his, is it your first home, Brian?
Second home.
But it's first in a while.
It's the first since 1980. My first VA loan was in 1980, so it's been quite a while since then, and it was quite convenient, I must say.
And so it actually works out really well that Joshua's here because you were actually Brian's loan officer. So we're going to get kind of a living surprise testimonial. So, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your loan process and your home purchase process?
Well, first I went to you, Dave Pautsch, as my real estate confidant and asked you for recommendations of a person to go get my money. I knew I qualified for the VA loan, and that process is online, and then I got confirmation that I was qualified. And so then the next step was to find somebody who's going to fund the loan. And so you recommended Joshua Kittle from Opus Advisors. And since I first met with him, he made the process like ABC. It was simple. And he laid out everything that was required. And I just listened to him and read my emails, which was quite convenient to work that way. And everything was handled by email or just a quick phone call with Joshua. He took the ball and ran with it.
Were there any issues that came up during the course of the loan program that we can kind of illuminate maybe points about the VA process to our listeners?
Oh, boy, not that I remember. It was a pretty smooth transaction. Of course, one of the things that made it so smooth, too, is the response. Brian was really good when I asked for something, the documentation. He got it to me, he got it complete, and that can sometimes be a challenge, getting that stuff. But he was great, responded right away. I don't think we had anything in particular come up in the appraisal or anything that caused a hurdle for us. So I think it was, like I said, a very smooth transaction. I think we closed it in less than 30 days. So, yeah.
So you're happily living in your new home now, Brian?
We are happily there after 2 or 3 weeks of moving in slowly but surely. But now we are settled in, and we are thrilled. We are happy to be there.
Well, any boxes you haven't unpacked now, just load them up, take them to Goodwill.
So, Brian, what was your service in the military?
U.S. Navy for 4 years, from 1969 to 1973. I was a dental technician attached to the 3rd Marine Air Wing in Santa Ana, California at the time, and with the dental and medical folks supplying those services to the Marine Corps, that's where I was stationed and happily did my duty.
Well, sir, thank you very much for your service. Thanks,
Yes,
Brian.
thank you very much.
So there you go, Joshua. You get a live testimonial on the air. Doesn't get much better than that. And a VA loan to beat, right? In keeping with our theme today.
Absolutely.
So let's, again, talk about maybe for people who are thinking, well, which is better, a VA loan or a conventional loan? And obviously the answer to that is going to depend on the circumstances. So what should people be looking at?
It does depend. Again, if you're a disabled vet with 10% or more, the VA, I can't imagine a scenario where the VA wouldn't be the option for you. Because, again, all the additional fees you would have with the VA compared to a conforming loan with 20% down, those fees are gone. So now you're really comparing apples to apples, and the VA rates are going to be lower than the conforming rates. And you don't have the MI. So that one is a no-brainer. If you're disabled vet, if you're going to do a refinance, the penalty of reusing your VA over and over doesn't exist for you, so go for it. Now, if you're a person and you're looking at purchasing a home as a veteran without disabilities, if it's a purchase and you haven't used your benefits before and you're going to be putting less than 20% down, it's a no-brainer. Again, because that mortgage insurance is not there. Whereas with conforming, you're going to have some kind of mortgage insurance. If you're looking at putting larger percent, your 20% down, then we've got to kind of crunch some numbers and take a look at how that lower interest rate in comparison to the additional cost for paying that VA funding fee, how long it's going to take you to recoup that with the lower rate, and then to make a decision on whether or not does VA still work for you. If it's a short term, you're going to be in the house for 5 years.
Or in the loan for 5 years.
Or in the loan,
and
exactly.
That's something I learned from you.
Yes, exactly. I slipped there, I know. So it's not how long you're going to be in the house, it's how long you're going to be in the loan, because you might decide to move out and keep it as a rental. But if you're going to be in the loan short term, then we may not be able to get enough savings in that rate to offset that 2.15% funding fee. So those are some things we would consider too.
Okay, Joshua, thanks. We're gonna take a break. I want to touch base on some of our sponsors again before we go. Willamette Community Bank, which is right down the street for us. As I look down to the right, I can actually see the clock tower. And there's also Willamette Community Bank in Lebanon, big sponsors of today's Veterans Day Parade, as well as Barrett Business Services. We are broadcasting live from the parade route. The parade actually starts at 11 o'clock this morning. If you are in the area and you see us right in front of Richard's Cleaners, you want to stop over and ask your question, we will be here just for you. And again, my guest today, Joshua Kittle from Opus Advisors. He's our regular real estate talk mortgage guy. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back continuing our coverage live in front of Richard's Cleaners for the Veterans Day Parade here in Albany. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
How would you rather spend your free time? Working in your yard or enjoying your yard? If you'd rather spend your free time having fun with family and friends in a beautifully landscaped yard, just call Doug Burton Landscaping. Much more than just lawn mowing, Doug Burton provides year-round complete landscaping service for your home or business. Call Doug Burton at 791-8758 or click on his link at kgal.com or kshow.net. Doug Burton Landscaping. Call 791-8758.
How's your peace of mind? At Regent Court Memory Care, you'll have the peace of mind you need, and your loved one will have the care they deserve. You're invited to Regent Court's open house the first Wednesday of each month, and to their awesome support group meetings every third Thursday that take place at the Postega House, just east of Good Sam Hospital. Learn more about their savings offer of $2,400 by calling Becca Hausner of Regent Court Memory Care at 541-758-8000. It's care you can count on, experience you can trust.
If you love to read, you'll find the books that satisfy December 1st during the huge Christmas sale for the Friends of the Lebanon Library. You'll find hardcovers and softcovers in fiction or nonfiction, from romance to mysteries, autobiographies to kids' books, even how to do almost anything books. Donations of books, tapes, and DVDs are welcome and volunteers needed. For more details, call 541-258-2758. Inside the Lebanon Senior Center, Saturday, December 1st, the huge Christmas sale for the Friends of the Lebanon Library.
The next performance of the Corvallis OSU Symphony Orchestra is Sunday, November 18th, 3 o'clock at the LaSalle Stewart Center. The orchestra, under the direction of Marlon Carlson, will perform works by Chopin, Ravel, and Debussy. Featured are Chopin's Piano Concerto No. 2 with Alexander Tutanov on piano, considered to be one of the former Soviet Union's most talented artists. Also, the orchestra will perform Debussy's Nocturnes and Ravel's Daphne and Chloe Part 2. Advance tickets are available at Gracewinds Music and Grassroots Books and Music in Corvallis. And for your convenience, tickets are also available online at cosusymphony.org. That's cosusymphony.org. Find information there how K through 8 and high school and college students can be admitted for free. Bring a friend, bring the family. Sunday afternoon, November 18th, 3 o'clock at the LaSalle Stewart Center on the OSU campus.
Jim Bohannon, weeknights on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
Cool. You want to give this to me when you're done?
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of Remax Integrity. We are in downtown Albany. Everything's getting ready to get set up for the Albany Veterans Parade, which starts at 11 o'clock this morning. Again, thanks to our sponsors. We've got a whole list of sponsors of the parade. Pro Auto and County Towing in Lebanon, Mega Foods, Mark Thomas Motors, Albany Burgerville, Lassen RV, Willamette Manor Assisted Living and In-Home Care, and quite a few others that we will give our thanks to later. Also, there's a box of Krispy Kreme donuts sitting right in front of me. Wireless Mike Mason thought that my pants weren't quite tight enough, so he got some Krispy Kreme donuts. And this North Albany Middle School 8th graders are raising some money for their Washington, D.C. trip. So if you would like some Krispy Kreme donuts, come on down there right in front of the fire station. But we're talking real estate. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL. My guest today is Joshua Kittle, and we're talking about veterans loan programs and things that apply financially to veterans and their real estate needs. One of the things, Joshua, that I think is really cool, the VA loan, as I understand it, is assumable.
Correct.
And in the era right now where we're looking at interest rates that are historically low, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75, in context, 10 years from now, we may be in a situation where interest rates are at 6% again or 7% again.
Yeah, so, I don't think it'll even take 10 years.
You don't think it'll take maybe 5 years?
I don't think it'll be 10 years. I mean, these rates are just so cheap right now, and I don't have their crystal ball to tell you it's going to change. But yeah, I mean, I think 5 years from now, you're going to see higher. Now, whether they're 10% or they're, of the 80s or 5, they're going to be higher. And that, as you're alluding to, makes the VA very attractive.
Right. That VA loan is an assumable loan, which really puts you, and I want you to think of it this way. If you are 5 years down the road and you need to sell your home, and your interest rate on your loan is 3.5%, a VA loan, the prevailing interest rate is 6%.
Right.
If you can market your home as an assumable loan, somebody can take over your loan and save an absolute ton of money. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so like I said, it's attractive because if you're in a market and you got a home and your rate's at 3.5, let's just say, and they're going rates 6.5, and you're got neighbors down there competing with you, you're able to offer your home at that rate if the person qualifies. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. One, the person buying it has to qualify, so they got to meet.
They don't have to be a veteran.
They do not,
but they have to qualify for the loan.
Right. They do not have to be a veteran, but they have to qualify as far as they have to be good credit risk. They have to have the income and stuff like that. So they have to still qualify because the VA is still on the hook for covering the lender if there's a loss. But the other thing is, though, is what gets a little tricky is if you've been in a home for a while and you've paid down that mortgage, and or the value of the home's gone up, so you bought it for 150 and now you're going to sell it for 175, or your loan might be only 140, you're selling it for 175. So they can assume that note for 140, but we still have to deal with the remainder, because they're not, the VA is not going to increase the loan to the new purchase price. They're just going to assume the existing loan as it is. So that does, could provide or prove a little bit troublesome, but so the person either would have to come into the difference in cash or get a second mortgage that could go behind the VA to come up with that money there.
Right, but it would have to be in a second position to the VA.
It would have to be in the second position, correct. So it's not just as easy as taking the new loan. You do have to remember that. But again, if you're out there and you're selling your home and somebody does have the down payment, and you're competing against like homes and you're offering a rate that's 2 points below everybody else, that's a significant savings in interest to that home buyer. That should allow you to either sell your home faster or maybe even get a little bit more than the guy next door.
And when you say you have to qualify, it's going to be with the original lender. So if somebody got a VA loan through Opus Advisors, they would be coming back to qualify through Opus Advisors, right?
Well, Opus actually, depends.
Unless you sold
it, exactly. The vast majority of loans do get sold, so you're going to have to go through the servicer, whoever's servicing that loan, and there'll be a process there. Assuming loans is not something we in the industry have dealt with because rates have been declining for so long, but it's something that in the future you're going to start seeing a lot more, because in addition to VA, FHA is also another loan like that. So we're going to start seeing, I think, when rates start going back up into the 5s, 6, and 7s, you're going to start seeing these types of programs come out.
Oh, I definitely think it's something we're going to have to figure out how to do. Now, what would make sense to me, for example, if your loan was with Lender A and you had a VA loan with Lender A, that as the buyer, if you were going to assume that VA loan, that you'd probably want to get the second with Lender A also. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but not necessarily true, because Lender A may not have a program that offers second position liens. They might only do first position liens. So it's going to be kind of take us back to the days in 2008 and before, where most loans were what we call 80-20. So you got an 80% first and a 20% second. Those seconds were very commonly with a different lender. And it'd be that kind of scenario where a person's going to come in, loan A is going to be the assumption of the VA loan as it is. Loan B would be that second position HELOC or something like that. So
okay. Well, I want to change gears a little bit. Last week, I read, and I don't know if you read it, I read the letter from Dave Liniger. It was an open letter from Dave Liniger to the president and to Governor Romney, talking about what needed to be done in order to fix housing. And one of the things he talked about was that the lending standards had gone from too loose, which allowed us to get into the housing crisis that eventually was one of the causes of the economic collapse, to way too tight, that we're not in a position allowing the housing market to recover and lead us out of the economic problems. I wanted to get your take as a loan officer, as someone in the lending business, on where do you feel the standards are now and what has to happen?
I'm going to have to disagree with him a little bit. I mean, standards, they're certainly tighter than they were. For most people, though, it's not that bad. I mean, you listen to the press, you think there's no money, nobody wants to lend. You hear stories about people like 700 credit scores, 20% down payments getting declined. Well, there's a lot more to that story. If the person one thing you have to remember is credit scores are important, down payment is nice, but your ability to repay the loan is equally important. And so when you hear those kinds of stories, they're not talking about their income. If you have a 40% down payment and 800 credit scores, but you don't have a job right now, you're not going to qualify for a loan. There's no income to pay back that loan. So I think that's where some of that misconception comes. It is certainly more difficult, I think, if you're a self-employed person. They're a little bit more scrutinous on the tax returns and stuff like that. We do have a little bit more paperwork involved with deposits and accounts, and so that's one of the things. If you're looking to buy a house, talk to a lender in advance, because some people's ways of doing their banking can cause issues and stuff. But as a whole, there are still lenders out there doing loans for people with 600 credit scores. That's not a strong score. At 640 and above, most lenders are doing those. And again, 640 is not a strong credit score. The thing is what's different today than what it was before is you need to prove your income beyond a doubt. I mean, you got to show you make the money. There is no more stating the income or using alternative means besides tax returns and W-2s to try to show that income, like bank deposits and stuff. So it's changed a little bit there. I think where we've seen a little bit more of a restriction that I'd like to see loosened up is probably in the appraisal side. The way they've taken so much of the connection between the appraiser and people involved out of it. I'm seeing slower turn times, more expensive appraisals, and sometimes not the highest quality appraisals that I like to see. Again, it's not enough that's really, I think, holding the market back that much, but that's one area that I like to see kind of get addressed.
You know, it's interesting. One of the things that I've noticed, and again, on the subject of appraisals, is that statistically, if you listen every week to Real Estate Talk, you would know that the statistics have changed, and we are no longer traditionally in a buyer's market. We're not in a classic buyer's market. The market is definitely more neutral. Actually, I would in most price categories, I would give the advantage to a seller's market right now. But it seems to me that nobody has bothered to tell the appraisers. Normally, you would say, well, in a seller's market, prices are going to start to go up. But we're not really seeing that, and one of the limiting factors has been appraisals. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, well, you know, appraisals, they have a job, they have a rule that they try to follow. But the problem with appraising, and it's just part of the process itself, is that an appraisal is a statement of a professional opinion, if you would. And I guess my issue is I've had loan scenarios where a purchase has come back on a purchase transaction. The appraisal came in like $18,000 underneath the purchase contract price, and the realtors knew this was wrong. We challenged it with the appraisers, but the appraisers, I find, are just unwilling to ever change their opinion. And so what they had to do is essentially switch lenders to be able to get a new appraisal. And 2 weeks later, his appraisal is done actually about 3 weeks after the original appraisal, comes in $2,000 over purchase price. And so my issue, I guess, with where appraisals are is how so much of it is that particular appraiser's opinion, and how you can have two different people look at the same house within 2 to 3 weeks of each other and have a $20,000 difference of value.
That's
crazy. Where I'm finding.
Well, one of my team members has a listing, and the appraisal came in $2,600 low, which it's about 1% of the purchase price, and we were both really. $2,600, really? I mean, it was just crazy, right? And the appraiser would not back off of that number. Right. So appraisals, I think, are the big problem right now in what's going to keep prices from going up dramatically. Now, maybe that's a good thing. I was reading an article in the Realtor magazine that comes out from the National Association of Realtors, and it was by the economist who works for the NAR, Lawrence Yun. And he was talking about how inventory has been so dramatically reduced. The fear is that when inventory goes down, you shift to that seller's market and prices go up. And if they go up too fast, we're going to get outside the bounds of home affordability and cause ourselves some further problems. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I suppose you could. It's a free market, though, so I think supply and demand. I mean, if you all of a sudden you run into a real low level of supply, and there's demands for people wanting to buy homes because of what rates are in the programs, I think you let the market go. I don't think appraisers' jobs are to, and I don't think they do this, but I don't think the appraisers' jobs to try to hold back value, hold back prices. You know, they have a difficult job. There's a lot of onus on them.
And I certainly think they're focused on being more conservative. Absolutely. After 2005, 2006, 2000, up through 2000.
They will not get in trouble by the bank for being too conservative, but they can if they're too liberal.
Right. Okay, Joshua, we need to take a break. Before we do, I want to thank some additional sponsors. Lynn Lanes, the Albany Antique Mall, Albany Downtown Association, the Albany Regional Museum, All for Fish, and of course, we're sitting right in front of Richard's Cleaners. This is Real Estate Talk. We're broadcasting live from the parade route. Albany's Veterans Day Parade coverage starts at 11 o'clock on KSHO, but stay with us for the next couple of minutes anyway, the next 15 minutes, as we finish up on Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. This is KGAL. Back in a few.
Come on. on, join us at Garland Nursery for our annual holiday open house today until 5. It's time for holiday parties, decorating, and enjoying the season. Come to Garland Nursery and let us bring natural beauty to your festivities. Come for door prizes, spice cider, snow-flocked trees that will last through New Year's. Sample seasonal food, buy fresh-cut garland, and create a magical look in your house full of, oh, wow, and great memories. Garland Nursery has the freshest cut greens, and we do mean the freshest. Most of the holly and cut greens come from right here on the property. Be inspired by our themed areas, forest frost, fairy tales, botanical beauty, and a pet gift area. Come celebrate, decorate, and enjoy the holidays at Garland Nursery's open house. Garland Nursery is located halfway between Corvallis and Albany on Highway 20. Locally family-owned for 5 generations, ready to help your family create holiday memories.
A first-class 24/7 fitness facility with the best plate-loaded equipment in the industry. That's Snap Fitness, always open with keyless access, where safety is paramount with videotaping of all activities. They offer free classes of yoga, Pilates, and Zumba with each membership. Snap Fitness Albany now has showers for those who like to get a fast workout and head back to work. Mention while you are enrolling KGAL or K-Show to get a free Snap t-shirt and ball cap. Enjoy a Snap Fitness workout now at Hickory Station behind Richard's Cleaners in North Albany.
The Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport invites you to join us for a warm and joyful holiday tradition, the Sea of Lights, November 30th and December 1st. Enjoy the magic of the holidays with music, treats, and face painting as you're surrounded by a sea of twinkling lights. Visit with Santa and get some awesome aquarium gift ideas. 2 magical evenings, Friday and Saturday, November 30th and December 1st from 6:30 to 9. Check our website at aquarium.org for details on the Sea of Lights at the Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport.
'Tis the season and time for planning holiday parties and memorable company celebrations. Be sure to include Mama's Fine Italian in your plans. Have the party at Mama's in Lebanon or book them to cater your event. Either way, it will be superb, and your guests will love it. Need a special bottle of wine for dinner tonight or for a party hostess gift? No better place or price than Mama's incomparable wine shop. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of the other 5 days and join your friends at Mama's. Like them on Facebook or contact them through their website, mamasfineitalian.com. Call for reservations or to plan your holiday party. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts building.
Laugh, cry, or get scared spitless with When Radio Was. Weeknights at 10 on 1580 KGAL.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're live on the parade route. Veterans Day Parade in Albany starts in just about 12 minutes, right at 11 o'clock. I'm here today. I got music playing. I can't hardly hear it. I don't have my regular earphones on. I'm here today with Joshua Kittle from Opus Advisors. We've been talking about VA loans. We have just a couple of minutes left before we take our final break and come back with the market update. But Joshua, I want to kind of do this segment as thanks to a veteran. I know you come from a family with lots of military background. So I don't know if you want to give a shout out to any of your veteran relatives.
Oh, sure. I'll see my grandfather's passed away. He was Army Air Corps. Fought in South Pacific there and was part of a famous mission with Yamamoto. He was part of the pilots that took down Yamamoto, who was the guy who planned the Pearl Harbor attack.
Absolutely.
So my dad served in the Air Force. Then I have 3 brothers that all served as Marines. And so I guess a shout out to Chuck, Levi, Dustin, and Brian. All people served in the military. And thank you very much. And one of the things I actually do as a lender, because I do very much appreciate the service that our veterans done, is I actually call all my veterans on my past clients that have been vets. I call them on Veterans Day and just tell them thank you.
So if you're calling every single veteran, that's one busy day for you.
My clients, yeah.
and I'd like to do the same thing. I served 23 years in the Navy, so I just have absolutely most of my life has been as a military person. Most of my friends are military, and I appreciate the service and the courage that they've all demonstrated. Within my family, my cousin Rick was a hospital corpsman. My nephew James is still on active duty. He's getting ready to retire next year. My sister-in-law, who passed away, was a 20-year Navy nurse. My father-in-law was a World War II bomber pilot. So, again, just a tradition of military service in our family. Proud to serve, proud to know the veterans. And to all the veterans who are listening out there, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And most importantly, and this is the one people forget, Joshua, is thanks to the families of the veterans, because that job is sometimes just as hard.
Yes. And I also got to give one more shout out. My nephew, Joey, is heading into boot camp this month. So I'm not sure if he's left quite yet, but he's going into boot camp for Marine Corps this month. So he's going to start the fourth generation. So
he's going to get that haircut that everybody loves so much. So
good luck, Joey.
You know, KGAL K-Show Radio, also a lot of military background here. We had Brian Holman earlier, who's a former Navy. The Vice President General Manager of Eads Broadcasting, Charlie Eads, is an Army. He's a Texas Aggie. He spent some Army service there. So we've got a lot of tradition. Mike, were you military at all?
I went up and said when I was 18, and they said, we don't need you.
Mike Mason did not have the opportunity. They didn't. He was at the wrong time in the world. I will say I was blessed to have served 23 years, and almost all of it was peacetime. And it seemed like every time we were in conflict, I was blessed to be on shore duty. So, but again, thanks to our veterans. If you need information about a VA loan, to get into a home, to have an agent that understands what you need, to have a loan officer who is proficient, we're right here for you. And Joshua, give them your contact information really quick before we
Absolutely. If you'd like to give me a call, my office number is 541-284-8032. And, of course, email nowadays works best for most people, so you can email me at jkittel, that's JKITTEL, at Opus Advisors, and that's OPES, and that's advisors with an S.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Joshua. Again, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your taking the time to come up here on a Saturday morning and spend it with us right here, freezing our tootsies off on the parade route.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So, again, we want to thank the sponsors of the Veterans Day Parade. They are many. The main sponsors we want to thank, Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, with branches right here in downtown Albany. See the clock tower on the right on Lyon Street. Also in Lebanon, thanks to President and CEO Dave Wood and his great staff. Also, Barrett Business Services Incorporated, Human Resource Management, proud sponsor of A Salute to a Veteran, a tribute to the men and women who have served and continue to serve in protecting our freedoms. Our country believes in liberty and justice for all, to make a stand for righteousness, freedom, and the defense of innocent people. Barrett Business Services Incorporated, Human Resource Management says thank you to the veterans who have given their lives and for those who continue to sacrifice to preserve our freedoms and the American way. We're going to take our last break here on Real Estate Talk. We'll come back. It'll be time for today's Real Estate Market Update. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity, and this is KGAL.
It's that time of year again for holidays, special events, and celebrations. And now Spring Hill Country Club has a brand new catering division offering off-site catering services. Catering anything from your private parties, weddings, tailgate parties at football games, holiday parties, and more. With wedding cakes and pastries made by the award-winning chocolatier and baker, head chef Shane Tracy. Spring Hill Country Club has just completed the construction of a beautiful, dreamy outdoor wedding area, and they're booking 2013 outdoor weddings now. The same delicious food and menu choices from their professional kitchen cater to your special event to meet your taste and budget. Spring Hill Country Club formal dining, banquet facilities for the holidays, boardroom, seasonal Olympic swimming pool, retail golf shop, and now catering your holiday or special event. So make reservations now. Log on to springhillcc.com or call 541-926-6059. When you're at Spring Hill Country Club, they treat you like a member, but you don't have to be a member to be there. It's where you belong.
DVDs for Vets is asking listeners to donate new or used DVDs for the benefit of military veterans who otherwise cannot easily obtain them on their own. With limited entertainment, vets in rehab can use what many of us take for granted every day. To donate new or used DVDs or to learn more about this worthy cause, please go to DVDs4vets.org. That's DVDs, the number 4vets.org.
Eugene Ballet Company brings joy to your holiday season with their performance of The Nutcracker on November 15th at the LaSalle Stewart Center in Corvallis. The wonder of this classic ballet will create memories of a warm holiday season. With Tchaikovsky's glorious music and vibrant dancing, Eugene Ballet Company creates a performance that always says Happy Holidays. Call 541-682-5000 or visit eugeneballet.org. In person at Gracewinds Music in Corvallis and St. Stephen's Jewelers in Albany.
Have you heard? Proactive is better than ever. Stay tuned for a 1,000,000-bottle giveaway. Do you have troubled skin, acne? Well, we have great news. With Proactive, your acne can heal, and you can prevent new breakouts from happening. Be one of the first to try it by giving us a call at 1-800-321-9960. Because we're going to let 1,000,000 people try Proactive risk-free and also receive our legendary refining mask and green tea moisturizer free if you call right now. You heard it. Be one of the first to try better than ever Proactive solution. You'll receive a 60-day risk-free trial, plus a free refining mask and green tea moisturizer. Call 1-800-321-9960. This is our best radio offer. Get your risk-free 60-day trial of Proactive plus 2 free extras. Go to getproactive.com or call 1-800-321-9960. That's 1-800-321-9960.
You can call us lefty or you can call us righty. We just call it Smarty Talk on 1580 KGAL.
And welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're going to finish the show with the real estate market update. We'll begin in Corvallis, where inventory is down 9 from our previous report. Today, 137 active listings. Average asking price, $361,227. 139 homes have sold in the past 90 days. That's up 8. Currently, 2.96 months of inventory. Really an incredible number. The median sold price in Corvallis is down slightly over the last 90 days. Today, $240,000, averaging $151.67 per square foot. On average, homes spend 108 days on the market in Corvallis. It is actually a screaming market over there right now. In Lebanon, 75 homes are available for sale. That's down 3 from last week. The median asking price is flat today at $150,000. In the last 90 days, 47 homes have sold. That's up 2. And the median sold price has slipped slightly today at $110,000. At $86.84 per square foot, homes are spending an average of 153 days on the market. Currently, 4.79 months of inventory available. Finally, to Albany, where inventory is down 2 with 265 active listings. The average asking price is up slightly at $188,363. 164 homes have sold in the last 90 days. That's down 5. The median sales price also down just a hair today at $166,150. Homes are spending an average of 127 days on the market from listing to close, and the average dollar per square foot value in Albany is up slightly at $110.32. There is today 4.85 months of inventory available. As you can tell by the numbers, all of the Mid-Valley really kind of shifting to a seller's market. As we were talking about earlier, appraisals are still keeping the values low. Inventory is still going off the market either through sales or through people taking their homes off the market for the holiday season, and that'll last till sometime after Super Bowl Sunday, maybe into early March. So lots of things going on in the housing market for you to pay attention to. You can keep in touch with them right here at Real Estate Talk. One quick anecdote. I wrote a number of offers this week, and 2 of the offers that I wrote both ended up in multiple offer situations. One of the homes that I have listed also had multiple offers on it. So I'm asked all the time, is real estate picking up? Are things getting busy? Well, yeah, they kind of are. So pay attention. Pay attention right here. If you're thinking about buying a home, Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services, www.nhs.org is a great place to start. If you want to take that class, email me here at Real Estate Talk at KGAL.com. We are live at the Albany Veterans Parade. The parade starts in just a few minutes. We'll be shifting the coverage to KSHO 920 AM. You can listen live to what's going on. We'll have Mike Mason is here live announcing the parade to the passersby, and Brian Holman from KGAL K Show will be on the air with the inimitable Bill Diamond back at the studio managing all of our breaks. So this is Real Estate Talk. We're here every Saturday morning talking about the issues that are important to you. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity, who have
around the clock,
great...
around the world. Your first choice for information is News Talk 1580, KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.